That moment. We've all been there, right? You know the one. You're rushing out, maybe you're running a bit late, and then, oh no! That sinking feeling. Keys aren't there, or maybe the lock just won't turn, feels totally stuck. Or hey, maybe it's a happier thing. You just got a great new place in Putney. But before you even unpack the kettle, you're thinking, is this place secure?
It's just this universal moment, isn't it? That feeling of vulnerability, needing a fix, like right now. Well, today, that's exactly what we're diving into, specifically for anyone in or around, the SW15 area, Putney. We've gone through this really detailed local guide on locksmith services there, pulled out the key bits. Our mission, basically, is to give you the practical info you need so you can handle these things, whether it's a total emergency, like you're locked out, or you're just planning ahead, thinking about security.
And that mission, it's actually really important. Because when you're in that urgent situation, maybe stressed, or even if you're just trying to be proactive about security, it can
Right.
feel, well, overwhelming. There's just so much info out there, right? Trying to find someone reliable, someone upfront about costs, it could just add to the panic. So yeah, this deep dive, we're aiming to cut through all that noise, give you some clarity, some actionable stuff based on what this guide shows, different services, different angles. It's all about helping you make good choices without the stress
Yeah.
and, ultimately feel a bit safer.
Okay, right. Let's unpack what people actually need around there. The source material, it gives a pretty good picture of Putney itself. The specific places it mentions needing help on Upper Richmond Road, maybe, or needing a front door lock sorted near Putney Bridge Road. Or perhaps you're down by the embankment or near Wandsworth Park, Felsham Road, Leaders Gardens. The point is, these common problems, lost keys, front door repairs, changing locks when you move in, they're covered. Seems like SW15 has a lot of options for both homes and businesses.
Yeah, and what I found really interesting is how the guide, like straight away, mentions the big question. How much is it going to cost to replace a lock, get a handle fixed? They're not just a side note, is it? For most people, that's the first thing they worry about. So by putting that front and center, the guide's kind of signaling, okay, we know you need clear, affordable options, which must be a huge release if you're already stressed out. It tells you that getting it done well and without a surprise bill, that's just as vital as the fix itself.
That is such a crucial point. It's not can they fix it, but can I trust them? Will the price be fair, especially when you're feeling a bit desperate? Okay, so let's move from the problems to the solutions then. Who are the go-to people in Putney? Our guide points out a few specific locksmiths. Each one seems to have like a special strength, a unique advantage. It's about matching the right service to what you need most in that moment. So, first one up. Let's talk about Locksmith for London. The guide actually calls them the cheapest locksmith near you in the Putney area. I mean, right away, that's going to catch people's eye, isn't it? Especially if money's tight.
Absolutely. It's often the number one filter. But what's really key here, according to the source, is that their affordability. They mention call-out starting from just $29. It doesn't mean sacrificing quality. The guide makes a point of saying they pair that low cost with high-quality work and, importantly, customer satisfaction.
Okay, but how? How do they manage cheap and good? That's often the tricky part.
Well, the source points to a couple things. Decades of experience, for one, and they make sure their team is thoroughly vetted and fully trained in all the latest security stuff. Plus, they're NLA members. That's the Master Locksmiths Association.
Ah, right. That's a proper accreditation, isn't it? A mark of quality.
Exactly. It signifies real professionalism and skill. And they mentioned having over 50 years of combined experience. So it suggests they're not just, a cheap option. They're a quality, vetted, budget-friendly option.
Okay, that MLA membership definitely sounds like a big plus. So what kind of jobs do they typically handle?
Well, the usual stuff. Done reliably and for good value. Things like getting a key unstuck or fixing UPVC doors.
UPVC, that's the plasticky kind of door frame, right? Common now.
That's the one. They need specific handling sometimes. And crucially, the guide mentions their transparent pricing, clear communication, which ties right back to that worry about hidden costs we talked about. Apparently, their vans are usually stocked well enough to sort most things in one go. Less hassle for you.
That's good. Minimizes the disruption.
Yeah. And it's not just emergencies. They're also known for security upgrades, changing locks when people move house in SW15. They even give advice on stopping lock problems before they happen. Oh, and the guide lists other areas they cover too, like Battersea, Fulham. So they're quite established, not just a tiny local outfit.
Right. So Locksmith for London seems like a really solid all-rounder, especially strong on value and trust. But what if the absolute priority isn't cost, but speed? Like, I need to be inside now. Maybe you've got a train to catch or you're late for something important. Speed is everything then. And that seems to be where Voss Locksmiths comes into play.
Voss Locksmiths, yeah. They're positioned as the closest local locksmith to the Putney rail station. That location itself tells you a lot. They're on Gypsy Lane, literally steps from the rail station, according to the guide.
Ah, okay. So ideal for commuters or people living right near there?
Exactly. And they're known for being quick. Often they're within 10 minutes, the source says. And get this, they can apparently unlock doors in as little as 5 minutes.
Wow, 5 minutes. Seriously, that's incredibly fast. How do they manage that? Is it specific tools or?
The source implies it's a mix. Prime location means they get there fast. Then, yes, probably specialized tools and experienced technicians who know the common locks inside out. They can diagnose and act quickly. It really cuts down the stress, especially if you're rushing for that train or just got home from work exhausted and find your keys stuck. Voss aims to make that disruption minimal.
And people seem happy with them.
Yeah, the guide mentions strong customer reviews backing up their speed and reliability. Says they're friendly too. So yeah, for anyone around Putney Station needing a super fast fix, Voss looks like the specialist.
Okay, makes sense. We've got the value option, the speedy station option. What about people right on the high street? Or, if disaster strikes at 3 a.m., that needs a different kind of service. And that's where SMS Putney fits in, right? The 24/7 availability.
Precisely. SMS Putney is highlighted as the closest local locksmith to Putney High Street. They're based on Cordis Road, their big selling point. They're an affordable emergency locksmith that's open 24 hours. That round-the-clock service is absolutely vital for those really inconvenient emergencies. Late nights, early mornings.
And they're quick, too.
Apparently, yes. Reputation for arriving within 15 minutes and resolving the issue in, well, just 2 minutes.
Hold on, 2 minutes. That seems almost unbelievable. Faster even than Voss. Are we talking about just super simple lockouts here? What kind of 2-minute fix is that?
It does sound incredibly fast, yeah. The source suggests they excel at those urgent, perhaps more straightforward fixes, especially where immediate access is critical. Think about being locked out of your flat right on the high street late at night. Or maybe a shop needs a door handle lock fixed urgently before they open for the day. They handle various things. The guide mentions UPVC repairs, changing lock barrels. But that speed implies they're masters of the quick entry or rapid fix. The source sums it up as providing peace of mind and skilled support at any hour, which is exactly what you need when something goes wrong outside normal working times. They're like the high street's emergency guardian.
Okay, wow. So we've covered a lot of ground on the who to call front. Options for budget, for speed near the station, for 24/7 cover on the high street. That arms you pretty well for an emergency. But what if we could, get ahead of the curve, avoid the crisis in the first place? Our guide doesn't just list locksmiths, does it? It also has resources for being more proactive, making smarter choices before anything goes wrong.
Absolutely. And this is where those locksmith guides mentioned in the source material are frankly invaluable, a real gold mine. They offer insights that let you do way more than just reactively call someone. These guides cover all sorts of things to help you prevent problems, make better security choices. For instance, instead of just saying pick someone good, they give concrete tips, like always asking for proof of that MLA membership we mentioned, or checking online reviews before you actually need someone.
Right, doing your homework ahead of time.
Exactly, because the guide warns about rogue locksmiths. It gives 7 cues that you are dealing with a rogue locksmith. Things like arriving in an unmarked van or insisting on cash up front. Knowing those signs could save you a lot of trouble, especially when you're feeling vulnerable.
That's a really practical takeaway. Knowing how to spot potential scams when you're stressed, it's about not being taken advantage of.
Precisely. Being an informed customer. And it goes deeper. They talk about DIY versus professional. So, for example, one guide suggests for a key that's just a bit sticky, not fully stuck, sometimes a little lubricant, like WD-40, maybe applied gently, might be enough. Could save you a call-out fee.
Ah, okay. Knowing the simple tricks first.
But crucially, it also outlines 5 situations when you should call a locksmith versus DIY.
Yeah?
Like if the key is actually broken off deep inside the lock, or if it's the complex UPVC door mechanism that's failed, trying to force those yourself could cause way more damage. So knowing when to try a quick fix and when to just call the pros, that's smart. Saves money and hassle.
Yeah, understanding your limits. Makes sense. What about the cost thing again, beyond just the initial call-out charge?
Well, the guides tackle that too. There's info on locksmith prices and costs, plus 5 things you need to know to avoid overcharging. This ties right back to that first worry people have. They empower you by explaining things like always getting a written quote beforehand, being wary if someone is really vague about the potential total cost. It's all aimed at creating transparency, making sure you feel in control.
And for upgrading security.
Yep. Ideas for that too, like 7 types of secure locks you should upgrade your doors to. All this info helps you shift from just reacting to problems to actively preventing them. Just like Locksmith for London mentioned advising on preventing future lock faults, it builds long-term security, not just a quick fix.
So this whole deep dive, it really shows Putney residents are pretty well covered, aren't they? Different locksmiths focusing on different needs, affordability, speed, 24/7 help, lots of choice. But maybe more importantly, there's a ton of information out there to help us all be a bit smarter, a bit more prepared about our security in general.
Exactly. Knowing who to call in a panic is one thing, but being informed before the panic hits, that's the real value. Understanding basic security practices, knowing how to choose a reliable service, making smart decisions for your home or your business. That's key. And, this kind of brings up an important question for you listening right now. How well do you actually know the security setup of your own place, your home, your office? Just think. What's one small thing, maybe just one tiny step you could take this week based on what we've talked about? Something to boost your peace of mind or just get you better prepared for that unexpected lock issue. Maybe it's literally taking 5 minutes to look at the locks in your front door. What type are they? Do they look sturdy? Or maybe just making sure you have a plan B for your keys. A trusted neighbor, a family member who has a spare. Just one small proactive step. It could make all the difference down the line.